So you know that your sleep isn't on point right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this video.
So here are 4 methods that I've learned from my self-improvement journey that are going to help you get a good night's rest and get to sleep quicker.
I titled this video for a reason, and there's a reason that you're here watching it. Look, bro, I've been in that exact same position as you. When you can't sleep, honestly, one of the worst things that can happen to you, especially if you're into fitness. I've been there, guys, honestly. I'm going to show you 4 ways I think are the biggest things I've learned over the past couple of years that have drastically improved my ability to just be able to get to sleep quite quickly and then have like a really good night's sleep as well. So the first method that I implemented was actually eating 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. I was always a super late eater, so I used to eat at like 8, 9 o'clock at night and then go to bed at like 10. Just giving myself an hour after I've eaten. Now the issue with this, guys, is when you eat, there's something called the thermic effect, which is actually the amount of calories that your body basically expends whilst digesting certain foods. And I guarantee that when you eat right before you go to sleep, you will be tossing and turning all night because your body is preoccupied digesting all those different foods that you ate. And it just basically stops you from being able to go to sleep. So what I recommend is eating at about 5, quite early, have an earlier tea. The second is caffeine. Now, I know a lot of people who drink a lot of caffeine, myself included, really. Well, I used to anyway, but I have drastically decreased how much caffeine I'm drinking now. I still drink coffee, but I recommend you guys just go and grab yourself a decaf coffee. If you don't like the flavor, I think you guys are just gonna have to deal with it, honestly. Caffeine is really bad for your sleep. Best thing I can say to do is just don't have any caffeine, whether it's an energy drink, coffee, whatever it is, pre-workout, after 12. Have any caffeine products that you're gonna have before lunchtime so that you can get it out of your system. I think the half-life on caffeine is about 6 hours, I think. So after 6 hours, it should be flushed out of your system, to make sure you're drinking plenty of water as well to get that caffeine out of your system throughout the day, so that when it comes to the nighttime, you have no caffeine circulating through your system. I used to drink loads of coffee. I just noticed that my sleep just wasn't very good overall, and basically since decreasing the amount of caffeine out, I have 1 coffee a day that has caffeine in it, and the rest of the coffees I have a decaf. Since doing that, my sleep's improved. So yeah. Method 3 is going to sound super cliche, and you've probably heard it before, but just don't look at any screens before you go to bed, preferably an hour before you don't go to bed. So don't expose yourself to too much blue light. Blue light is the kind of harsh light frequency that comes off a lot of LED devices like mobiles and laptops. So what I'd say is invest in like a decent pair of blue light blockers. I've got some here to show you. I've noticed this just helps with headaches. So I've been wearing these now whenever I work, whenever I'm looking at my big screens. Invest in a pair of these, they're not that expensive. Just type in blue light blockers on Google and you can get yourself a pair of Amazon or something. And yeah, they've been helping my headaches, and I imagine it's also transitioning into my sleep. I think it helps you get like a deeper rest, but yeah, definitely look into that. And finally, guys, I've said this one before, if you want to help improve your sleep, and this is probably the biggest one, read a book or meditate before going to bed. So I found that one of the best ways that I actually get to sleep, and it literally puts me to sleep fairly quickly, meditating. So I use the app Medito, just drastically improved how fast I get to sleep. Things, if you go to bed and you're just like thinking about things like that you did during the day or something, maybe you had a bad day or something, and the best thing to do is to meditate, because I found that it literally, if you just focus on the instructions that the person talking in the nighttime routines on that Medito app, I find it's massively helped me get to sleep. I can be out within 10 minutes now. I could not recommend that enough. If you don't want to meditate though, and you would rather do something before meditation or whatever, as an ambitious person, you'll probably want to consume some information. So I definitely recommend reading a book. I found this is super helpful. It's just a really nice way to focus on one thing rather than thinking about lots of things. Listen, man, if you are trying to improve your sleep and you've got to this far into the video and you've actually listened to what I've had to say, don't eat 3 to 4 hours before going to sleep. Don't drink caffeine after 12. Reduce the amount of screen time that you have before going to sleep, and reading or meditating before going to bed. If you actually implement these 4 things, I guarantee, guys, your sleep will improve. These are the tips that I think are actually tangible and like applicable. Like, you could do all these things today, because the reality is, I bet you're probably watching this and you probably should be asleep. You've learned something hopefully from this video. So like tomorrow, actually write down the things that I've just said and actually go apply them. Like, don't just go watch another YouTube video now. If you want to see some results and actually see your sleep improve, then go do that, because honestly, the value of getting a good night's sleep is incredibly underrated. The quality of work that you get done when you have allowed yourself to have a couple less hours sleep is drastically lower than that of the quality of work that you would have done had you just gone to sleep and then did like an hour tomorrow on a full night's sleep. If that makes sense, would be much higher quality work. I know when I'm sleep deprived the next day that I really struggle to like work, and all I want to do is just go to bed or like watch a film. So if you can get into a good routine of sleeping well every night consistently, it's massively important in helping you stay productive, stay disciplined, and stay on your self-improvement goals. And you'll get there, man. You'll get there. Let me know how it goes. See ya.